Hello everyone, and welcome to alexanderbasika.com, the video blog for app reviews in the iOS ecosystem. I'd like to introduce Andrew Jenkins, a respected colleague and friend from my Bell Telecom days. He is now a consultant, and I'm going to give him an opportunity to provide a brief overview of what he's doing today. Our objective on the video blog will be to do app reviews, to gain insight and thought leadership from noted consultants and experts in the Greater Toronto area and worldwide, as well as to talk about mobile trends and strategies from application developers. So before we get started, Andrew, can you just give us a quick bio of what your core experience and work is today as a consultant, please?
Sure. I have my own consulting firm. It's VolterraConsulting. VOLTERRA, Volterra, and specializing in strategy, strategic planning, business model design with emerging technology. Now, to be more specific, that encompasses wireless, e-business, and social media.
Okay, great. And Andrew, what we're going to try to do, and we hope to have this as a continuing series because, as you know, we do enjoy our coffee chats quite often, and we're always meshing ideas and brainstorming and using our beloved iPads to sketch with styluses and whatnot to come up with new business models. What I'd like to do today, Andrew, because you have some heavy engagement with a lot of telecom companies and media and ad agency, and you have a great cross-section of experience in wireless and new economy businesses as well as media, etc. There's a lot of stuff happening in the marketplace today in the mobile side related to location-based applications such as Foursquare, Gowalla. The other name escapes me right now. Focusing on people checking in and you know, I guess earning badges, and there's some social utility in that. Maybe it really ties into some of the gaming business model where you're on a leaderboard and you're being compensated for progress, and it kind of appeals to the ego of gamers, etc. But where do you see these applications going from your perspective? Like, you know, people read a ton of articles, but we're looking for real-world opinions. And is there merit in these applications? Is there a business model there? Is there a benefit to not only to the local economy, retailers who are appearing up in these apps for for tips and maybe promoting and maybe making some of their mayors advocates? What about advertisers? What's the engagement model for them? What's the value? You know, we want to get away from all the fuss and the buzz. Let's get down to some real world sense. Do these apps have a place? Will they survive? Will they evolve? I mean, Facebook Places is now in queue. What's the story on these apps and social media?
Well, just picking up on your mention of Facebook and Facebook Places, there was came out on the news this week that I believe 1 in 4. Or maybe 1 in 5 display ads occur within Facebook.
Interesting.
So, you know, if that's the level of presence they have in the ad arena, then one wonders, well, how will that translate to the likes of Places for people checking in as well? There's no denying, Facebook's preeminence, given that it's 500 million people. I believe there's 25 million people online in Canada, and there's a substantial percentage of that are on Facebook.
Well, I heard there were 100 million users just on the Facebook iPhone app. That was reported probably about 3-4 weeks ago.
100 million?
100 million are using Facebook on the iPhone app alone. That's astounding.
Well, they most definitely, and so if those are the indicators, then whether it's Foursquare, Gowalla, Facebook Places, or any other location-based scavenger any of these other location-based apps, the first thing is to attract a sufficient volume of users. And a friend of mine describes it as there are either users or droolers. And either you're trying to attract the user so that the droolers who want access to those users can then start pushing offers to them.
Interesting.
But it's a delicate point, because oftentimes in a social media context, people are reluctant to be pushed.
Yeah.
So this is where you get the likes of a Foursquare or some of these other iPhone or smartphone apps saying such and such an application wishes to push content to you, allow or don't allow.
Yep.
And so I think some of the issues with these location-based apps is how can they leverage the opt-in mentality versus pushing upon people. Then assuming they get people to opt in, they're only as good as the offers that are being presented. But they are, as you pointed out earlier, leveraging that what is being called the gaming layer.
Yeah.
And so people, playing on that competitive mindset that attracts people, gets that stickiness going, and helps to build the user base.
But is that long term? Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I've used it. I got heavily involved in some of these apps to try to understand the dynamic and the usability, and earning badges and being on the leaderboard was compelling for a while, but for me at least, I'm not speaking for the mass user, it's kind of become a little stale for me. What is the next step? What do you think will be the key for keeping users engaged? Because they're going to face probably the same challenge that telecom companies face with subscribers. It's going to be a slip and churn. They're going to be constantly trying to either rebuild the base or have it keep growing and losing people. Is it compensation schemes? Is it more relevant advertising? That, I mean, we saw some Starbucks ads where if you're the manager, you got $1 off. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't really compelling enough for me. Are we seeing anything from any of your research or what from your engagements with other clients? Like, are they talking about different things? Any insights there?
Well, for me, what I'm wondering is whether it will become less app specific and more device specific. By that I
Interesting.
mean that my getting an offer because of where I'm located won't be predicated on my being with Gowalla or Foursquare or places that might become irrelevant. That this is where potentially there's an opportunity for carriers to say, okay, well, to all of my iPhone users or all of my BlackBerry users or Android or what have you, I can, provided they opt in, mind you, push something to them, push an offer, and this is where they're looking for more value to maintain their relevance. And instead of Starbucks partnering with Groupon or Gowalla or whoever, Starbucks can partner with a carrier.
Okay.
It's just theoretical. But the other thing is, beyond the advertising model and pushing offers,
Sure.
what I am finding intriguing about the location-based applications is more on, you're seeing it emerging in the social benefit side or social entrepreneurship. Orange in the UK is mobilizing volunteers, micro-volunteering. And there's another organization that I saw the founders of it. It's called the Extraordinaires, and again, a nonprofit.
I do recall that app, actually.
And so it's available for iPhone, and again, it's for micro-volunteering. So when you are in a particular location and you have time available, you can opt in and perhaps do some good. And now, is there a way to turn that micro-volunteering, if you want to look at in terms of a commercial application? So, my wireless background at Bell was putting together field service applications, where there were applications for at the point of activity, where someone was in a particular location with a particular device, and the application they were working with on that device was specific to where they were and what they needed to do in that context. So whether it's social benefit or commercial, I think there may be an opportunity there in terms of the location-based aspect.
Okay, very interesting perspectives, Andrew, and we hope we can get you to do some more segments in the future as new innovative applications and trends start to crop up in the industry. Andrew, very silly question to be asking, but if you could share with our viewers a Twitter feed. I'm sure you're heavily involved in social media. If you have anything else you'd like to share so that people can follow you, please let us know.
They can follow me on Twitter at AJenkins. AJENKINS.
Okay. Thank you very much, Andrew, and we appreciate your insight and expertise, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you.